welcome back to more OC Motivator. Today we are in Palm Springs in Palm Desert, California, and I am visiting my offices. And I told you all when I started this channel that some of the videos I'll do will be kind of day in the life type stuff, motivational, inspirational messages, career advice, work advice, stuff that could help you literally minutes after you watch this video. You can show up to your current job, or if you own your own company, and hopefully take something you got from this video and implement it, start doing it that day, and that day start improving your life and those around you's lives as well. So in this video, I am cruising in the Lambo. I decided to drive it out here yesterday, and it was beautiful and sunny, and I knew the rain was going to come, and it's very light, thank goodness. And yes, driving this car in the rain is not ideal. I mean, it does not that it doesn't drive good. It's just I just hate taking such a beautiful machine and getting it in the rain with all this acid rain on it. I guess I don't know, but I'm driving it nonetheless, and it's interesting because if you think about me driving a Lamborghini to our offices, there's something that doesn't seem right about that. You know, when my dad ran his company and he started to have a little bit of success back after, of course, after I went in the Air Force, and they bought this little 190E, tiny little Mercedes, the cheapest Mercedes you can get, but it was something like this was to me, to him and my mom, to get something nice. And he drove it to work a few times, and pretty soon the employees decided that he was making too much money, and they started to revolt on him. So there's a reason why that doesn't happen at my company. One, I'm not flaunting this thing. I'm not pulling right up in the front space. I park it a little distance away, and I don't talk about having it, because this car has come from 30 years of hard work, not today's paycheck, if that makes sense. So 30 years of hard work, 6 years of doing this YouTube thing, and I end up with this car. But not everybody ever wants to give you the credit for the time it took to get the thing you have. And oftentimes, like in some of my comments on my other channel, they assume that you woke up one day and somebody just tossed you the keys to a Lamborghini and said, hey, go be rich, go drive around and act important, act cool. No, that's not how it works. It's, for me, 30 years of sheer hustling, crawling through glass to get this car, and I still have a long ways to go. I mean, this car it's used, it's expensive, but it's not like I bought some $500,000 car, like a lot of people I know who drive these things. But it is a personal accomplishment for me. So, yes, I drive it to the offices. I'm not parking it up front, but if somebody does notice or say something, I always make it clear that, yeah, it's funny, after 30 years of hard work and, of course, my YouTube fun here, and an extreme love of these cars, and a direct, let's just call it a redirect of funds from things other people spend their money on, like traveling, or motorhomes, whatever it is that they like. We like cars, so that's where our money goes. And you know, as a result, we sacrifice in other areas where, you know, we're not going to Europe twice a year. We're not going to Cabo San Lucas in Mexico, you know, every year and dropping $15,000. And nope, we spend the money on cars. So I try to make sure people understand that no, this isn't like, you know, I'm just making so much money and that's how it is. And I think that's important if you own a company, you love cars, that you just humbly make it very clear to everybody that I've worked hard. I mean, this has been, you take it as an inspirational opportunity to say, look, I started right there in your seat and crawled through glass to get where I'm at today and buy this car or have this thing or have this life. It doesn't just get handed to you. There's a lot of hard work, and then if they're interested in that, in doing that, then I'm the first guy that's gonna lock arms with them and shepherd them through the direction they need to take, the path they need to go on to get there. And I think pretty much every one of the employees in this company, most absolutely know that about me, and for that reason, I don't get beat up too much. But I just try to park it a little far away most of the time. So that's the deal. So what am I doing today? Today I am driving to my offices. I've got 3 offices, close to 250, maybe 275 employees and salespeople, and a phenomenal manager with an assistant manager, and just a phenomenal group of people. And what I wanted to share in this video, while I head to these offices in the rain, in the Lambo, on these rough roads, is that, just referencing back to my last video, surrounding yourself with the right people. And I'll tell you, that is the key to success as you grow in your career, is surrounding yourself with the right people. There's 2 ways to look at hiring. When you hire people, when you attract great employees, is some people look at it as, and I've been a victim of this, as somebody really, really good is a threat to you. I look at it that somebody really, really good, potentially even better than me, will help propel both of us to where we want to go. I am confident in how good I am at what I do, that if I come across somebody that is as good or potentially better at this career, as ambitious, as driven, as long as I can identify ethics and integrity in them, self-responsibility, they take responsibility for their mistakes, they have humility, they're willing to admit where they've failed in their life, I will hire this person. I will hope that that person outruns me. I will make sure that that person is in line to get promoted. I will do whatever I can to help that person move forward. And I make sure that they know that. And I make sure that they know that never will I be threatened or feel threatened by their ambition or their drive. I want them to be proud of it. I want them to wear it on their sleeve. I want them to respectfully and with humility make the world know that they are going places. They are going to, as that quote says, put a dent in the universe. And I love that. And when I set them free from the fear of maybe me not liking them or being afraid of them taking my job, they blossom. They go to the next level. And oftentimes, and sadly for me, but great for them, they end up getting promoted up and away into bigger and better positions. And I love that. Or they choose to stay exactly where they're at and lock arms with me, and I will walk through fire to help them make more money, enjoy their life more, have more life balance, and be happy in their career. I have branch managers that work for me or that report to me that make more money than I make. And that does not bother me. I was asked once by my boss, Brad, you understand that, what you're asking for to pay this manager more money, that she's going to be making about what you're making, if not more. I said, no, she will be making more. And she's worth every single penny. And I'm good with it. Please get it approved. And let's get this message to her. And what that said to my boss was, wow, this dude's not petty. He's not sitting around going, well, that's not fair. I'm not saying that. A high performer, regardless of their job title, regardless of their position, if they deliver just incredible, stellar results, should be paid commensurate with those results. And if that means that they're making more money than the person they report to, that's beautiful. That's awesome. That's how it should work. I chose this position because it fulfills me in my life, not just because of the money. I could go back and do one of those other jobs and potentially make more money, but I love surrounding myself with these amazing people and working hard with them. So if they choose to stay in that position and just make more money, I will help them do that. So the reason I share that is because when you go to work, you've got to know that the first thing you've got to do, if you're right out of college and you're starting a new job, or you've been on your job for a few years and you're definitely a junior employee. Like I said in my last video, you're a cog in the wheel right now, which nothing's wrong with that. Without you, businesses wouldn't run. But you've got a boss that you are not sure where they stand on your ambition, and if they are the type, let's just say A, who is going to be very concerned that you're going to be after their job and make them look bad, or B, they are like me and excited about you being incredibly ambitious, driven, respectful at the same time, definite some grounded humility, but wants you to go for the stars, wants you to reach for that diamond ring and achieve your boss's success and even your boss's success. A manager or a boss that you have that says, you could run this entire company someday if you give it everything you've got today. That's how you end up getting put in positions to escalate. Well, that boss is awesome. But if you've got that boss that is perpetual state of fear, mired in insecurity, worried about who's going to take their job, constantly complaining, constantly overwriting you too hard, doing nothing to inspire you, majoring in minors, nitpicking, standing there at the clock at the beginning of the day waiting for you to come in 1 minute late, and then spends an hour of the day writing you about being 1 minute late. These bosses, you got to be careful. And I can tell you, my strategy when I've worked with people like that many years ago was to just bide my time, because they will always take themselves out. They will always be discovered and uncovered by their bosses and get taken out by sheer nature. It just will happen, in which case you will then be in a position, because you've been patient and respectful and humble and you worked hard, and then when that person's gone, you get the call to take that position. And that's kind of how I've gotten where I've gotten. Now, what about when you're working for an owner of a company, and that owner of the company is a micromanager and majors and minors and borderline abusive and nasty and horrible? Here's the deal: unless you have other options, just walk through fire for that person, make their life easier, and help set them free from whatever torture is taking place in their brain. Being a business owner is very, very different than being an employee in a company, and I know this from my dad. I know this from working closely with owners, and owners live in a different world. It's not the same. They aren't worried about you taking their position. They're more worried about losing their entire business because of a bad decision or employees not delivering the results they need delivered. So what you've got to do is constantly reassure that owner that you are on the job and making things happen exactly as they want them to happen, and help them when they're stressing out. If they are giving you crap for 1 minute over here and there, have a conversation with them about all the good things. The term compensating factors will always matter to an owner of a company. An owner of a company wants one thing: they want to be profitable. That's it. They want to be profitable. Profit allows them to stay in business, allows them to survive long term, allows them to put money away for the bad times. So anything you can do to reassure them that you are heading to the right place, heading towards profit, increasing profit, improving profit, and focused on profit. Sometimes that means reducing expenses. Sometimes that means coming up with creative out-of-the-box ideas that would reduce expenses for that owner and help create profit where there might not be profit. That owner's going to love you. Now that owner's going to find you to be so invaluable that they will never want to get rid of you. They will be so committed to keeping you, even though for a while you had to deal with some discomfort because that owner was kind of misdirected and riding you a little too hard and focusing on some of the wrong things. But remember, unlike an employee manager who's just doing it because they don't have any other skills. This owner may not have the other skills, which is why they hired you. So you fill those holes. You create security. You help remove insecurity. I've done this with owners in the past, and we'll be in meetings and I will show up with every positive metric and indicator that we are heading out of tough times or heading into incredibly high times. I will make sure, but it's like calling the 8 ball in the corner pocket. Don't say things that aren't true. In my career, 90% of the time when I call that 8 ball in the corner pocket, when I say things are going to turn around after first quarter, and here's why, here's the 6 reasons why, and then it actually happens, I end up building tremendous credibility with those owners. In an employee-driven company, like a publicly traded company or a company where, you know, your next 3 levels of leadership in your company are all employees, they're less worried about that and they're more worried about their job. So you've got to keep asking lots of questions. What's important to you right now? What can I do to help make sure that you look great to your boss so that I look great to you? And just ask them straight up, and I will make that happen. I will make that happen, or I will die trying. You let me know what will make you extremely safe and secure in your position, and I will go and make those things happen. And at that point, if I'm your boss, I'm looking at you going, right on, let's go. Like, I love this person. This person's self-motivated and properly focused. And you can help correct some of the bad behaviors in a bad boss sometimes with that kind of conversation, but some are just too damaged. But you'll know, and if they are too damaged, bide your time, they will go away. But Brad, shouldn't I just quit my job? You don't know what the other boss is going to be like. So I found you can leave the company you're at because you don't like your boss, and then end up at another company and have a worse boss, and now you lost your other job and you can't go back there, and then everybody knows that you left. So when that boss ends up leaving, the other boss above them remembers you leaving and doesn't want you back. So I say muscle through it, unless it's, you know, abusive or harassing or something horrible, then muscle through it and wait that person out. Offer your support, do everything you can to help that person look good, offer that to them. What do you need me to do? How can I make your job easier? What can I do? And when you're in trouble, and I'll end with this, when you're in trouble, for example, for being 2 minutes late, you know, things happen. I'm really understanding with my employees. I'm like, things happen. Car accidents happen, you know, kids get, you know, late getting ready for school. I mean, things happen. I understand that. I'm not going to waste hours and hours if it's chronic and it's, you know, just they're abusing your kindness. Then certainly we'll have a conversation. But if they're getting their job done and they're doing it at a high level, you know, it's something I'm not sitting around, you know, staring at the clock. But you get the point. Some bosses will come down on you about little things, and others will come down on you about real things. Sometimes they'll come down on you about things that you didn't even do, but now you're in trouble for that thing because in that boss's mind, you did it. And your first response is to say, I didn't do it. I didn't do the thing you're saying I did. This is what really happened. Let me tell you how to handle this, and we'll wrap this up with this. When you're in trouble for something, if you're in trouble for being late, if you're under disciplinary for not getting your work done in time, or whatever it is, and you know that you're probably butting heads with that boss and not in good stead with them, that means you've handled those conversations wrong. Here's what you got to understand. In that boss's mind, that boss is right. They believe themselves. They've ascended to that position, and that position lends itself somewhat to a place of confidence in themselves, and sometimes it's misplaced, but they'll believe whatever they believe. Oftentimes they'll believe whatever they were told from someone else before they even have a conversation with you. It feels wildly unfair, and you want to get defensive and push back. Let me just tell you what to do, because I'm the king of having been in trouble for things over the years, is you listen and you acknowledge, I understand what you're saying. Can I share with you just a little more information that I don't think you got from whoever shared with you, that maybe could help understand that, you know, what I did here wasn't as egregious, but most certainly I can do better. And I always say I can do better. But can I share with you what happened? What really happened was I was actually, 3 minutes late, and this happened with my kid, and that happened with my kid. And by the way, why don't I just make this commitment to you right now? Because you're right. The work day starts at 8:30, and 8:33 is not 8:30. So you're right. And if I want to go anywhere in my career, if I want to climb the ladder, if I want to have your support in moving forward, if I want to get a raise someday, I'm going to need to really, really tighten up my behavior. I understand that. So, Mr. and Mrs. Boss, you have my commitment that moving forward, I will show you some different behavior, some better behavior. I won't allow myself to be late again. I'm going to leave extra early every day. I'm going to make sure that my work is completely done, and if there's a reason I can't get it done, is it fair that I give you a call and let you know the reasons why? That way I don't let you down again, because it's the last thing I want to do. Yes. Okay, great. And by the way, is there anything else you think I can do better? Because I am open to becoming better. I'm open to learning. I'm open to growing. I need you to just tell me straight up, right between the eyes, exactly what you need out of me. And I'm going to take notes right now. I'm going to pin them on my bathroom mirror. So every morning, I'm taking your coaching advice, because whatever you did to get where you're at, now this is esteeming your boss and feeding somewhat of an ego, right? Whatever you did to get where you're at in this company is what I want to do. So I want to apologize for what I've done, for the mistakes I've made, for the errors I've made, and I'm going to commit to you I'm going to do better. But if there were 3 things that I could just wildly improve upon to get in your good graces so that you would feel comfortable, let's say after 6 months, recommending me for another position, an upgrade, a raise, or if anything, just a very positive mid-year review, what would those 3 things be? And by the way, if there's 5 things, because I'm really screwed up, I want to know what they are. And have your notepad, and then let that manager talk and shut up. And then when they tell you, well, you know what, I'm glad you asked. Because sometimes you get a little too defensive. Sometimes you get a little pushy, and some of the employees say that you mess around too much. And there's some things that, they're not super egregious, but that definitely some style issues that I'd love you to work on. And don't say, well, that's a bunch of crap. Say, awesome. See, I didn't know that. And yeah, you're right. I can be a little pushy sometimes. Yeah, I can be a little bit abrasive. Yeah, I get it. I can joke around too much, or whatever the issue is. And so what I'm hearing here, then reiterate it. What I'm hearing here is my butt needs to be here on time. So you're gonna see me here early every single day. And by the way, not on the clock. I'm not gonna clock in till the time I'm supposed to clock in. I'm not trying to get more money out of it, but I'm gonna be here 5-10 minutes early. I'm gonna make sure that I'm the first one in. And by the way, you mentioned that I leave early sometimes. I'm going to make sure that I make arrangements in my household that I'm not going to be trying to leave early. I'm going to be the last one to leave. I'm going to be the first one in, because that's important, right? And you're right. Awesome. I'm not going to mess around as much. I'm not going to joke around much. By the way, if I can't get my work done, I'm going to let you know. And these 3 or 4 things, I'm going to work really hard on there. Now, can we talk? And you say this. Can we talk in a couple weeks? Can we just, I don't want to take up your time because I know how busy you are running this business, but can we talk in a couple weeks, and it can be literally like in a hallway, and you just let me know how I'm doing on these 5 things, because I'm going to bring them back in and say, how am I doing on these things? Could you let me know? Because I don't want to wait too far to find out that I didn't do them well enough. Is that cool? And I promise you, your boss is going to say, absolutely. They're going to look at you like you have 3 heads because of what you said, and walk away and tell their boss, you won't believe the conversation I just had with Melanie or George. You won't believe the conversation I just had. This kid or this guy or this gal is a rock star. Like, totally screwing up, totally like on board with doing better. looking for ways to do better, setting up an accountability process without me having to do it, to review the progress. All of this came out of their mouth. I'm blown away. If this person now puts the 8 ball in the corner pocket, if this person now accomplishes these 5 things I told them they needed to do, I think we've got our next manager of XYZ department. I think, this is amazing. And then, here's the secret. Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. I've heard that a million times in my life. Brad, you made it this far, don't screw it up. So with that, everybody, I hope this helps some of you out there with your jobs, your careers, your businesses. We'll talk more about some other fun stuff. I'm going to head into this office right now and have some great conversation with the employees and the salespeople and all the folks in there, and make sure they understand how much I admire and appreciate them for everything they do every single day to make our company run, to make our company thrive, to make our company be, frankly, one of the greatest companies in America, bar none. It's these folks that make it happen. So that's my objective today, not to walk in there as the VP and walk around and act important. I'm sitting down with folks and I'm having conversations. Also, I like to ask, is there anything you need from me? Anything you need from the company? Anything you're lacking? And uncover things that maybe need to get fixed. So with that, have a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with anyone you think it could help. And I'm going to go get wet in this rain. See you guys later. Bye-bye.